Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So a few days ago on my Instagram, I asked in my question box if you had any questions for me, and we got some responses. So today I'm going to be answering those questions. If you aren't already following me on Instagram, links in my bio and go check that out. But anyways, so continue watching to get those answers, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see any future videos. Now let's get into it. So I just wrote down all of the questions, and I will have them because I screenshotted the questions. So as we go through, I'll have the questions also on the screen. So the first one is, what would be ego lifting? So honestly, ego lifting, the only main difference between, like, let's say challenging and pushing yourself a little bit harder between ego lifting is you're sacrificing your form when you're ego lifting typically. So as long as your form is staying on par, your breath is staying on par, that engagement is staying on par, then you aren't ego lifting. But if you're going there and you're starting out with a weight that you already are unsure, and you're starting to sacrifice your form, but you're continuing to push past all of that, that would be ego lifting. And I don't suggest doing that, obviously, because that's where injuries come into play, is when you are not really caring about the actual form and all of that stuff. That bad things happen. I used to do that too, and that's why I have back pain now, and why my knee acts up from time to time, is because I didn't really care about form. I cared about the weight, and sometimes that's not the most important thing you can do for yourself. So that's ego lifting. Second question is, what's something you hate hearing in the fitness community? So over the last 2 days, I've been trying to think about just one thing. But I can't. There's a few things that I really hate hearing in the fitness community, and one of them would be the good and bad food thing. Like on TikTok, there's always people that are like, okay, I drank this smoothie and I lost 10 pounds in a month or in a week. There really is no food or one thing that's going to get you there. The main thing for whether you're gaining in size, losing in weight, is your calories need to match what your goals are. So if you're wanting to lose, you need to be in a calorie deficit. First, before you even get into a calorie deficit or in a surplus, you need to see what you're eating on a regular anyways. Because if you're in too deep of a calorie deficit right now, that's why you're not losing weight. So you need to slowly bring your calories up to your maintenance, and then slowly decrease them back down so that your body can hit that maintenance, so that it's not in that starvation mode. And same with your, if you're wanting to be in a surplus, you still need to figure out what you're eating on a day-to-day, because I bet you're not eating near enough in order to get you to a surplus. It's a crazy amount of food that you need to get into a surplus. So that is the main thing that I really hate hearing, is the good or bad, or this food or this smoothie made me do all of this stuff, because that's just complete BS. That doesn't happen. If you're, we'll go with that. That is the main thing that I hate hearing. Actually, you know what? I do have one more. That one specific exercise is going to be the key to like a glute growing or building shoulders, or this specific workout. Progressive overload, guys. Progressive overload. Regardless to whatever it is you're training, progressive overload. And sticking with just simple basic movements. You do need to be doing compound movements, because they're great for your overall body. And, progressive overload, which means slightly adding weight every time you do a rep, increasing the repetitions, increasing time under tension, changing up your tempo, whether you're doing like a pause at the bottom, you're doing a 5-second lowering, you're doing half rep to a full rep, something like that. Those are the two things that bug me the most, I would say, out of the fitness community. Okay, third one is a question for their struggles. So, hi, I have been trying really hard to get rid of my lower tummy, but I can't seem to. Okay, so few things I'm going to say about that. So, although it seems like we should be able to do this, we can't spot reduce fat. And typically for women, we do carry a lot more fat around our stomachs because we have a uterus, which means we're technically meant to carry a child, whether you do that or not. But typically women do carry a lot more fat around their stomach for that exact reason, so that it gives a little bit of extra room and protection for our uterus. So we have to realize that guys sometimes can just have abs super easy, and it's not always that easy for women. The main thing you have to do is you have to lower your body fat percentage. So again, being in a calorie deficit. So measuring and starting to track your macros to what you're eating on a day-to-day, because again, I bet that you are probably, so in a calorie deficit, you need to be around 200 to 500 below your maintenance calories. And most people are very severe underneath their maintenance calories, which means your body is just gonna hold on to everything. It's going to either, you're going to lose muscle, fat, you're gonna be drained, your energy's not gonna be there, and you're not gonna get the best results being that deep in a deficit, especially if you've been there for a very long time. So you might need to reverse diet out of that, or you just might need to find what your exact maintenance calories are and just eat at that. If calories are not your best friend and you just have some like eating disorders behind it, or you just feel like you can't give all of your time and efforts to that, the best thing you can do is just have a balanced plate about 3 times a day. So making sure you're getting your carbs, fat, protein especially, even if you're having a snack, having a protein shake. But yeah, so just making sure your plates are balanced and trying to prioritize your protein, and that should definitely help. And just realize that things take time. Things aren't easy, and you can't find, there's no specific exercise that's gonna lower that tummy. It's just keep up with your eating and don't stress about it. Okay, so the fourth question was for me, and it was, if I could only do 3 exercises, what would they be? So I am a compound lifter girl. I love compound movements. Ever since I started really incorporating them into my movements, because I used to just do a lot of accessory work, because before I really did my personal training, I just looked at Instagram influencers, and so I would just do their workouts and thought that's what I needed to do. Don't actually need to do that. But so the 3 main movements I would do is hip thruster, barbell, regular hip thrusters. Those are my shit. I could just do them every single day. There's something about them that my adrenaline goes, because they're also the thing that I can lift the heaviest. The heaviest I've gotten is to about 315, which I only weigh 150 pounds. So score. Another one would be an overhead barbell press. I'm stuck between either, no, I hate squats. I do hate squats. I've tried liking squats and they just suck. I'm gonna say a barbell bent over row. Yeah, okay, so those are the 3. So hip thruster, barbell hip thruster, overhead barbell press, and a bent over barbell row. I'm sticking with those. Okay, 5th question is hard time getting to the gym tips. So there's a few different things that you can do. So to get there, find either like a friend that's gonna motivate you to get there, and if you are bringing a friend, I suggest that you guys have kind of the same goals in mind, and whether you guys are going to have your headphones on and just kind of have a game plan before you go there to make sure that you guys are on the same page, or else then it might feel a little bit contradicting to have them there. But having a buddy, or even just finding someone in the gym that's you kind of already know that's there, that can be like, hey, what time are you going? I just need someone to keep me accountable, to make sure that I'm coming, and that's it. Like, I don't need to work out with you. Knowing where you are going to work out, so have your workout planned before you go, whether you are just Googling a YouTube video, an Instagram video, and make sure to ask the staff before you even go there where everything is, so that when you go there, you're not rushing and feeling anxious and nervous because you don't know where the equipment is. You'll already kind of have a layout of where everything is. Wearing a cute gym outfit, either doing your makeup or your hair, just feeling good in your body before you go there. That's something I even do. I try to get, even though I don't get dressed for the rest of the day, I'll look good to go to the gym. For me, no one else. I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks, but I go there because it makes me feel good and I like the way that I look, so it makes it easier. Having music that really pumps you up, that gets you energized, whether it's country music, rap music, hip hop music, just get a playlist ready. Last thing would be, don't put so much pressure behind it. If you are having such a hard time getting there, and especially if you jumped right into it and you're like, I'm gonna go there 5 days a week, cut it down. Do something that's manageable first, whether that's maybe going once a week, and then the week after you add another day, and maybe you stick with 2 days for a little bit, and then you add in a third day. And the days that you aren't at the gym, you do something outdoors, whether it's walking, hiking, biking, swimming, and move your body in a different way. But don't put so much pressure that the only way that you're going to get your progress is by the gym. Because you can go to the gym 2 days a week lifting weights, and the rest of the time you can just be doing outdoor activity stuff until you're more comfortable in the gym. So those are the tips that I can give you that will just help it make it. Oh, actually, one more thing, changing your mindset about it. So if you are feeling like you're having a hard time getting to the gym because you're like, I need these goals, I need to do this, especially if they're for someone else, or if you're struggling with them, try and change your mindset. Instead of being like, I need to change my body, saying, I want to feel better in my body. So switching up the way that you're using those words so that it's not forced, it's more of a welcoming thing that you get excited about going. Yeah, that I had to do that too, even myself. I've been lifting for 6 years, and I used to go to change my body. Now I go for my mental health. So not the gym. The gym does not mean you need to go for changing your body, because that has some negative backing to it. So yeah. Okay, number 6, when I train glutes, I feel most exercises in my quads help. Okay, so again, this is also another one that I really had to think about for the last 2 days, because sometimes I forget what it feels like to be at the beginning of your fitness journey and not really having that mind-muscle connection. So I have to take a step back and realize that it's a lot harder to get to that point, because I remember when I did hip thrusters, which is the main focus is your glutes, I felt them in my damn hamstrings and my quads. And now I'm like, I don't even remember how I did that. But really play around with your form. So if you're doing something because an Instagram influencer said it, try changing your foot stance up a little bit. Try putting the weight a little bit more in your heels. Try, especially if you're doing hip thrusters, try making sure that the back of the bench is around underneath the lats. Play around with whether you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell. Trying to slow down the movement before you even add in weight. So doing more body weight stuff, really trying to slow the movement down is going to be one of the biggest things that helps, because it will create that mind-muscle connection, so you can start differentiating between the two, so that you can really think about squeezing through your glutes as you're doing a movement, like kind of wrapping the glutes around. And when it comes to hip thrusters, try not, I'm just gonna spill out a bunch of information, but like when it comes to your hip thrusters, a lot of people tend to put their heels really close into the butt. So you might start feeling it like in the calves, in the quads. So again, you're just gonna have to really play around with the movement instead of sticking to what people say, like this is the holy grail. Play around with it for yourself and see. The biggest thing is slowing down the movement. Try not to add more weight until you really feel it in your glutes first. Sometimes that does mean adding the slightest bit more of weight so that you can feel it. But the main thing you want to be doing is hip thrusters, glute bridges, glute kickbacks, glute cable pull throughs. Just things that they're shorter range, but they are more targeted towards your glutes. So saying, not that you have to stay away, but until you can create more of that mind muscle connection to feel it in your glutes, staying away from any type of variation of squat, staying away from leg press, leg extension. So just trying to lay off working the quads for a little bit until you can work on the glutes a little bit to get that mind muscle connection working would be probably the biggest thing to do. Last question, how are you able to get work done at home? So if you are new to my channel, you probably don't know, but I am a mom of an almost 2-year-old in a couple months. So I am an online fitness coach, in-person trainer, yoga instructor, and obviously I just have household duties to do. So a lot of what I do is done in the morning. So I never used to do this, but I have been starting to do it within the last couple months, and it's been helping me a lot. So I wake up an hour and a half before Aria gets up. I still get like my 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes not as much because I have to be up at 4:20 some days because I have a client at 5. But I get up before she's up so that I can like water the lawn, I can wash my face, I can work on my computer, and I just have a lot more time to do that because when I'm with her, I try not to work just because you can really tell that it bothers her emotions when I am not really focusing on her. I know there's going to probably be some people in my comments that are like, oh, she needs to learn how to play on her own, and she does great on that stuff, and I will do like my content creations when she's up, but when I'm actually focusing on a program, I can tell that she knows that I'm not being fully present with her. As of if I'm like doing TikTok, she's kind of okay with it, and she'll even sit with me when I'm doing it. But for my laptop, it's hard because she wants to bang on it. So yeah, waking up before she does it, and sometimes I'll do a little bit during her nap, but her nap, I try to do more things that are catered to me. So taking a nap, working out, maybe washing my hair that day, eating, having a little chillax on the couch, watching TV. That's about it. But yeah, so just getting that little bit of time before she's up to do some work. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions that you would like to ask me, again, be sure to follow me on Instagram because I normally try to put in a question box up every couple weeks. I'll try it every once a week. I was gonna do it before and then I forgot. But you can always comment down below and leave me any questions, any future videos that you would like me to do, and I will do them. I hope you have a great day and thank you for watching again.